So you build your game, you put money, time, and effort, making sure that it's popular on Apple App Store, and then one day, boom, your app gets taken down because looks like somebody else owns your name. How'd that feel? I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around, it's Clicker Heroes being pulled by Apple because a Chinese company trademarked the name. Alright, let me start by reading from the article, and you can always find the link in the description below. Popular iOS game Clicker Heroes pulled from App Store after name theft. So Apple removed the popular freemium title Clicker Heroes from the App Store after a Chinese company trademarked its name after its version of the game received notoriety worldwide. So just to make sure we're clear, the Clicker Heroes game did not originate in China. The proper non-Chinese game received that notoriety worldwide, and then a Chinese company went after them. Okay, unlike in past situations of Apple removing titles from the App Store, this time the developer has done nothing wrong. After racking up over 47,000 reviews on the App Store, nearly all positive, the game was banished from the App Store after a takedown request filed by a nondescript Chinese company. 47,000 reviews is a lot of reviews. It means a lot of people know your brand. It means a lot of people value your brand. And to get it taken down like this must have hurt. So let's keep reading. Clicker Heroes first landed on the App Store in 2015, where it started gaining traction and positive reviews. Developer Plazaris has started using the name as far back as 2014, evidenced by some Chinese webpage. Again, just because it's Chinese doesn't mean it refers to the Chinese company that went after them. So, never mind. But Plazaris didn't register the name locally in China, allowing Shenzhen Lingyu Technology to swoop in and file a trademark on the name well after Clicker Heroes first debuted and created their own clone. Plazaris does hold trademarks in both US and Canada, but that wasn't enough to hold off Shenzhen Lingyu Technology Co. Ltd. from filing a takedown request with Apple, forcing the game to be removed worldwide. So Plazaris owns proper trademarks, Canada and US, probably their main markets, but because the Chinese imposter trademarked their brand in China, that allowed them to file a takedown request with Apple, and Apple quickly said, sure, don't worry about it. We're going to take it down. And not just in China, we're going to take it down everywhere. So that's what happened. And so the story was shared on Reddit by user Fragsworth, who purports to be the CEO of Plazaris and was first spotted by Cult of Mac. He says the company is currently losing $200, $300 a day as the game was removed everywhere and not just China. Now, despite explaining this as clear as I could to Apple and the third party, Apple sided with the cloners and took my game down, said Plazaris CEO Thomas Wolfley. We don't have the resources to fight a legal trademark battle in China. So I guess that's the end of our game. Luckily, since the original takedown, Apple has reached back out to Wolfley to inform him that Clicker Heroes would be reinstated globally sans the China region where the imposing company still holds the upper hand. So you can finish reading the article yourself. Here's the comment that you've all been waiting for. In China, like most of the countries in the world, there is no protection for unregistered trademarks. They don't care that you came up with this brand in 2014. They don't give a damn that you've launched it in 2015. They are not interested in the fact that you've got 47,000 reviews. All they care about had somebody filed a prior trademark in China. And if the answer to that is no, then it's fair game for anyone to get their trademark registered. And when that happens, you could be in trouble. So this really creates a whole other level of complexity around App Store and trademarks and intellectual property infringement, because, well, initial decision that Apple made assumed that this Chinese company owns the brand. Okay, I don't think Apple assumed that Chinese company owned this trademark in every single country in the world, but the assumption is that, well, if they own a trademark somewhere, unless there are other game developers now that use that same name, probably it would be the right thing to do to defer to the idea that this company would own this brand worldwide. And so that's exactly what Apple did initially. They said, okay, so we see this Chinese trademark, okay, we will make sure that nobody else can call their game the same way. And that's what they did on a global scale. And then, I guess, with the PR shitstorm, Apple looked into this and said, I think we may have made a mistake, because the 47,000 review app is actually more popular than whatever else this Chinese company would be able to put out there. So they said, okay, how can we fix this to make it fair to the Plazaris company? And I'm sure they first thought, well, let's just lift the ban and let Plazaris reap the benefits of their hard work. And then they realized, well, we can't really do that because Chinese company has a Chinese trademark, and nobody challenged that trademark. It's valid as long as it's not canceled. And so they came up with this decision, which I think makes perfect sense from the legal perspective, that Plazaris, as the entity that came up with the name first, that is known under that name more than anybody else, would hold the world rights to that name from the Apple App Store perspective, except they wouldn't be able to do anything about China and this Chinese company that trademarked the brand there. The next question, of course, is, well, Andrei, didn't you just say that most countries don't recognize unregistered trademarks? Yep. Does that mean that somebody else can get a trademark on the same name in some other jurisdiction that doesn't recognize unregistered trademarks, and in theory they're going to have the same case against Apple and against Plazaris, so that let's say you go and trademark the same name in Russia, and then you go to Apple and say, well, we've heard this on the news, we read the article, we listened to Andrei Mincov, Trademark Factory's founder, who said, well, Apple made the right decision and now we own the Russian trademark. We would like you to make sure that we own Russia, and Plazaris can do whatever they want everywhere else. And then somebody else will go and get that same trademark in Angola, and somebody else is going to get the same trademark in, we can go on and on and on and list the countries, and it's going to become a lesson in geography, because you just look at the map and say, well, I want a piece of that. And in the end of the day, there's going to be no value left to the original brand. And I mean, in the perfect world, what the app developer should have done is trademark the brand everywhere, right? File in your home country, file in your most valuable markets, probably file the international trademark application through Madrid, in all other countries, but it's going to cost you a lot of money, and they're only making $200, $300 a day. I mean, it's great for a freemium game, and it generates some revenue, but it's definitely not enough to justify an investment in getting your brand trademarked in every single country on the planet. So I guess as we start seeing this trend unfold more and more, and Apple will be facing a pretty difficult situation with how do you actually decide whose brand you're protecting on the global scale, and how do you pick the countries that you block for the brand owner who may not necessarily have a registered trademark in that country. So we're going to see what's going to happen, and that'll be an interesting one to see. That one will be very interesting. Probably a few years down the road, we'll see what Apple's policy is going to be around something like that. Now, if you found this video interesting, if you found it useful, well, subscribe now, get notified whenever the next one goes live. If you've got a brand that you want to protect, maybe you have a popular app on App Store and you just listen to this terrified, thinking, what if somebody trademarks my brand in China? What do we do then? Well, we can help you trademark your brand in China. We can help you trademark your brand in Latin America. We can help you trademark your brand in Africa, in Asia. We can help you trademark your brand in more than 120 countries. And yes, of course, we specialize in Canada and US, but we can help you with our all-inclusive flat fee and 100% money back guarantee in pretty much every country that's out there. So if that's you, if you feel like you would benefit from protecting your brand and you need to talk to somebody who would help you steer in the right direction, well, go to trademarkfactory.com, book that free call with our strategy advisors. The first thing you're going to see is the big button that's going to say book a free call. Click that button, get on that call, and we'll take it from there. And until then, I will see you in the next video.